Up next, these Oregon Sports Hall of Fame inductees made it to the top and stayed there a long time. The Iron Man of the NBA, A.C. Green, missed only 3 games in his 16-year career. Race car designer Rolla Vollstedt is known for many firsts working in his garage, but the one all the ladies like involves signing a contract. And a Hall of Fame inductee for his gift of words. Bob Blackburn, the broadcaster, was heard around Northwest sports for nearly 60 years. All next on Great Athletes, Great Oregonians.
Welcome to another edition of Great Athletes, Great Oregonians. The life of a world-class athlete is a textbook full of lessons for life. Strength, discipline, perseverance, respect, patience, and the list goes on. On this show, we share the stories of great athletes who have been inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame and what they can share with us. Today's show will cover a variety of sports and the inductees who excelled at them. And we tip off with basketball. A.C. Green was a 4-year star at Oregon State where he finished in the top 4 all-time in rebounding and scoring. He was drafted into the NBA and would receive awards for being a good player, including playing for a championship team 3 times. But what A.C. Green is most known for is an indicator of this man's heart, and I don't know that any coach can teach this. He still holds the record for most consecutive games played in NBA ABA history at 1,192 straight. But here's the story of Ironman A.C. Green.
The story of A.C. Green started with a stellar career at Portland's Benson Tech, ending with the spectacular season of 1981. Green averaged 26 points per game, won State Player of the Year honors, leading Tech to the state title. The stage shifted 80 miles south to Gill Coliseum, where A.C. made his mark immediately with Oregon State. Pac-10 All-Frosh team, 3-time All-Pac-10 first team, a 1984 Most Valuable Player. Green finished his Beaver career number 4 on the school's career scoring list and was chosen in the first round of the 1985 NBA draft by the Los Angeles Lakers. That brings us to Act 3 of A.C.'s basketball life, the role of Iron Man. In 16 NBA seasons, Green won world championships, was elected to the All-Star game, gained renown as a rebounder and defensive whiz, but everyone will remember A.C. Green for the streak, playing in 1,192 consecutive games over 13 seasons, the all-time Ironman record for professional basketball. Off the court, A.C. established his own foundation to promote sexual abstinence education and was recently inducted into the World Sports Humanitarian Hall of Fame. Now, a husband, youth mentor, author, and public speaker, we honor one of Oregon's all-time favorites. From the prep ranks to OSU to the NBA, he will always be just A.C.
Now, in this day and age, since your pro career is completed now, you do a lot of speaking and you do a lot of things with young people. What do you tell them?
Live right, be a good, solid person. Don't just be an athlete, but be a whole person. Understand more things than just athletics itself. And that's really sort of the foundation, the backbone behind the A.C. Green Youth Foundation. I don't know, I'm just trying to affect people in the right way. I think I've sort of made smiles come across a lot of people's face, almost millions of people, I would say, through athletics itself. But I really want to inspire millions more to really live right and really do the things that they know they ought to do. Thank you to the committee for the votes and for those that are responsible for me being here and standing here and receiving this award tonight. I definitely receive it with honor because I'm so proud to be an Oregonian. This is many places that I think a lot of our inductees could say tonight. We've traveled and we've been around the country as well as the world, but we know where home is. And I appreciate those that sort of helped me as well as you along the way. Friends such as even at Nike, who's really stepped in and really trying to see inner cities really come up and get an opportunity to make a difference, not only in their life, but those that are coming up behind them. It's just a great honor, and I thank you all for being out here tonight. And without a doubt, I want to say one thank you, especially to my beautiful wife, Veronique, for being here and being a part of my future now. And so I thank you, sweetie, indeed. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Our next inductee redesigned auto racing, not only under the hood, but behind the wheel as well. Rolla Vollstedt, designer and car builder, was the first to put the engine behind the driver. It's still there today on every open-wheel race car built. But perhaps his most stunning move, he signed the first woman ever to drive in the Indianapolis 500. Here's the exciting story of Rolla Vollstedt.
I'm Janet Guthrie, and I had the honor of driving for Rolla in 1976 and 1977. I couldn't possibly have driven for a better team owner. He was smart, he was thorough, he knew racing backwards and forwards, and he was passionate about the sport. Rolla Vollstedt was born in Canada in 1918. His family moved to Oregon 2 years later. He graduated from Benson Polytechnic and attended Reed College as a medical student. But the lure of auto racing made an early mark. At the outbreak of World War II, Rolla was already building racing machinery in a Portland speed shop. Soon after the war ended, Rolla became a force to contend with at Portland Speedway. Beginning in 1962, with the help of some friends, Rolla Vollstedt's first Indianapolis 500 race car began taking shape in his basement garage. It was a brilliant and revolutionary design. In November of 1963, Len Sutton tested it at Indianapolis. Sutton's fastest test lap in the new Vollstedt car beat the official track record by nearly 2 miles an hour. 6 months later, they entered the 1964 Indianapolis 500. On race day, Sutton ran as high as 4th before dropping out with fuel pump problems. It was an amazing debut for the rookie Indianapolis car builder. Not only was he the first to build a successful Indy car with a rear-mounted Offenhauser engine, he was the first to build an Indy car with wings. Somewhere along the line, he decided to be the first to bring a woman driver to the Indianapolis 500. In 1976, I passed the rookie test at Indianapolis in Rolla's 1975 Vollstedt Offenhauser. At Michigan in July, we qualified 12th, and in the process, we broke the women's world closed course speed record by more than 12 miles an hour. That 1975 Vollstedt Offenhauser is now in the permanent collection of the Indianapolis Hall of Fame Museum. Rolla Vollstedt's story could and should fill a book. He was my coach, my mentor, and my friend, and I want to be the first to congratulate him on his well-deserved induction into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
The attendance at Indianapolis for the 500-mile race approaches 400,000 people. If you're ever there at this 2.5-mile track and you look around and see this mass of humanity and you realize that you're looking at about the population of metropolitan Portland. And when you're down there in the starting line and they play the Star-Spangled Banner and you start to choke up and then they sing Back Home Again in Indiana, the balloons float, the guns go off, and they start that race and you hold your breath for about 4 hours, you then begin to understand what auto racing is about.
Coming up, the story of broadcast announcer Bob Blackburn and why his induction into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame was a natural. We'll be right back.
Great Athletes, Great Oregonians from the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame is sponsored by Nike and by D.A. Davidson. Financial advice for the long run.
D.A. Davidson, financial advice you can trust.
The Oregon Sports Hall of Fame recognizes and celebrates Oregon's rich athletic history. It's built on the premise that the lessons of sport provide a unique opportunity for self-discovery. Through an extensive memorabilia collection and exciting interactive exhibits, the Hall teaches and reinforces character and values. Each year, the Hall commits to lifelong rewards in the form of scholarships awarded to high school student athletes. Contact us about this process and the annual induction ceremony at your Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
As a child, Bob Blackburn lay in bed with tuberculosis. He loved to listen to college sports broadcasts, and his uncle told him that his strength was in his loud voice, so a career in broadcasting seemed a natural pursuit. Well, he reached that goal. Broadcasting years of games for the Portland Beavers, the Ducks, and then Oregon State, and on to the NBA with Seattle, Bob Blackburn broadcasted nearly 9,300 games in his career.
13 of his 18 years of broadcasting Beaver baseball was with the legendary Rolla Truett. During those 18 years, Bob built the largest minor league baseball broadcasting network in the United States. In 1955, Bob took over the broadcast rights for Oregon State football and also basketball, and through the years built the basketball network into an all-time high for college basketball. Bob became the original voice of the Seattle Supersonics expansion basketball club in 1968 and continued until he retired in 1992. Bob's wife, Pat, they have been married for 54 years, by the way, and their 6 children with other family members are here tonight to help us all celebrate Bob's well-deserved induction into the state of Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
I think the interesting part about all of this is that this type of event is made for the great athletes. I was not a very good athlete at all. I was a pretty good bowler. I used to average 191, but when I was in school, the baseball, the football, the basketball, I was always the guy that was on the bench. You know, so anyway, I know what it means to be placed amongst elite people like this, and it just gives me a wonderful feeling to know that for one night, people might look at me as more than just an announcer, but as somebody who achieved something in the field of sports.
The Oregon Sports Hall of Fame has an expansive collection of memorabilia and artifacts. Included in the collection, Ray Lampkin's boxing robe. Lampkin was a champion boxer. Also, we have a speed bag from the Knott Street Boxing Club. That's where Lampkin trained. The club brought the national spotlight to Portland with the most successful amateur boxing program in the country. The club had 9 national amateur champion boxers. In 1968, Knott Street was the only amateur boxing team in U.S. history to have 3 national champions on the same team at the same time. Here are some more special thoughts about the Knott Street Boxing Club.
In all of Oregon's storied amateur sports history, no institution produced more nationally renowned athletes than the Knott Street Boxing Club. Young boxers who trained at the Knott Street Gym in the 60s and the 70s won 10 national AAU championships, and some would advance to professional ring careers. Knott Street boxers won national titles as far back as 1956. In 1961 came a team championship. 7 years later, Knott Street was the only team in AAU history to have 3 national champs on the same team and have 3 competitors in the Olympic trials. The list of Knott Street alums and their accomplishments is lengthy. Ray Lampkin rose to the #1 lightweight contender in 1975 and then would fight the legend Roberto Duran for the title in steamy Panama. Steve Forbes, trained by former Knott boxer Lee Jenkins, won an IBF title belt in the year 2000. John Howard won nationals at age 14 and was voted most outstanding boxer. The list of accomplishments is staggering. 8 different years of national champions, the Olympics, the medals, the pro game, the battles for the belt. The years have changed the sport of boxing, But nothing can take away the memories and the tradition of the men of the Knott Street Boxing Club.
D.A. Davidson, financial relationships built on loyalty.
The beauty of basketball is it's just like rock music. It's fast, and when you're hot and when it's rolling like we were, it gets faster and faster and louder, and everybody, the guys who you're right with, I mean, it is so special, but everybody who's just outside that little sphere of what's happening, it just seems like they're moving in incredibly slow motion, and they can't catch up. They can't get on the wheel, and there's no feeling like that in all of sports.
Judy Horfrost began her table tennis competition early, playing in her first U.S. Open at age 11. She was only 15 when she made history as part of the ping pong diplomacy delegation that made their historic trip behind the Great Wall of China in 1971. An inductee for world caliber table tennis, here's Judy Horfrost.
Judy Pochenski could have put this designation on a business card. The youngest member of the ping pong diplomacy delegation. That's how the young woman from Oregon was known following that historic trip to China back in 1971, orchestrated by President Nixon. Ping pong diplomacy put Judy and the sport of table tennis on the map in the United States. Judy was just 15 years old and the national junior champion at the time. Suddenly, everyone wanted to see her play, and Judy was able to elevate her game further, winning national and international titles throughout the decade of the 70s. After being named to the U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Fame, Judy came out of retirement for a turn at Masters competition and appeared in the World Masters Games during the 90s. The woman now known as Judy Horfrost made the sport of her father a life's work. Lou Bochinski brought the love of the game home from the military there in Korea, and Judy learned the game along with the rest of the family as they moved from Arizona to Eugene to Portland. And along the way, Lou sold equipment out of a suitcase and founded a club in downtown Portland known as the Paddle Palace. Now a mail-order house for top quality equipment, the Paddle Palace still nurtures a love for the sport while she enjoys a retirement of tennis, step aerobics, and watching her own son in his own baseball career. She no longer plays competitively, but don't say ping pong around Judy Bochinski Horfrost, an American legend.
You know, I really have enjoyed being part of a sport and being, you know, part of, you know, the community of sport. I've learned so much from just the people that I've met.
Sure.
And I mean, I think everybody here is involved in some sport and knows what I'm talking about. That you're you learn about life through participating.
The lessons these inductees are sharing have the ability to impact all of us. High school student athletes are absorbing the lessons they see every day. With me now is Melissa Myers from Tigard High School. Welcome, Melissa. It's good to have you here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Talking about sports, what's been the biggest highlight for you so far?
My biggest highlight is this year at state when I placed second in both my events, and we also had relays get to state this year, so it was good to see our team come together and succeed.
Your participation in sports has the ability to teach you life lessons too. What have you learned about yourself?
One of the big things I've learned is time management. I know that I practice at 5:30 in the morning and then another one at 4 in the afternoon. So I know that I need to get things done in between, like homework, so that when I come home from practice, I can eat dinner and then sleep so that I have rest to swim again in the morning.
So when we're talking about the participation in sports and the life lessons that you learn, if you look into your future, how do you think that's going to impact?
Next year I'm swimming at University of Hawaii on a scholarship, and I'm planning on studying nursing. So I know that it's going to take a lot of time management to balance 2 swim practices, classes that I have, and also labs that I'm going to be having for my major. And I'm planning on swimming at Olympic trials within the next 4 years.
So right here we've got a future Hall of Famer and a future Olympian. Congratulations, Melissa. Thanks for being with us.
Next, the original pioneer up at Lewis and Clark College, Royce McDaniel, after the break on Great Athletes, Great Oregonians.
D.A. Davidson, financial advice you can trust.
The Oregon Sports Hall of Fame recognizes and celebrates Oregon's rich athletic history. It's built on the premise that the lessons of sport provide a unique opportunity for self-discovery. Through an extensive memorabilia collection and exciting interactive exhibits, the Hall teaches and reinforces character and values. Each year, the Hall commits to lifelong rewards in the form of scholarships awarded to high school student athletes. Contact us about this process and the annual induction ceremony at your Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
Great Athletes, Great Oregonians from the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame is sponsored by Nike and by D.A. Davidson, financial advice for the long run.
At Lewis and Clark College in Portland, the first player to ever win 12 varsity letters in 4 years was Royce McDaniel, a star in football, basketball, and baseball. Like many athletes, Royce took on coaching and teaching after graduation for 37 years. His positive impact on thousands of student athletes is legendary.
In college, Royce earned 12 letters in 3 sports. That's as many as you can make. He was named to 9 All-Northwest Conference teams, 2 in football, 3 in basketball, 4 in baseball, and is a charter member of the Lewis and Clark Hall of Fame. Royce played 3 years of minor league baseball, hitting over 300 each year. About this time, Royce earned his teaching certificate and had to decide on pro baseball or teaching. He chose teaching and stayed with it until his retirement. While teaching at Lake Ridge High School, he coached football, baseball, and girls basketball. His team won state championships in baseball in 1974 and girls basketball in 1991. He had numerous players go on to play at the college and pro level. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Royce McDaniel as the next inductee into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
This absolutely knocks my socks off. I'm so honored, so thrilled, and I believe very, very lucky. And believe me, luck is involved. I would like to thank my wife of 39 years. And finally, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee and everybody involved for believing that I belong in this class of 2001. Thank you.
The inductees featured on today's show have success and longevity in common, but their success was about more than talent. They had character, respect, vision. They had the courage to be innovative, and they had an authentic humility and passion for their respective disciplines. I think we can all learn from that. Look for future episodes of Great Athletes, Great Oregonians.
D.A. Davidson, financial relationships built on loyalty.